Have you ever felt stuck? Like something inside is quietly holding you back? Maybe it's fear, maybe it's comfort, or maybe it's that tiny voice that says, not today. We all know that voice. It sounds harmless, but it steals time, dreams, and confidence. We call these the enemies of success. They live in our minds, shape our habits, and stop us before we even start. But here's the truth: they can be defeated. Success isn't about being fearless or perfect. It's about learning to move forward, one brave step at a time. Today, I'll share how to recognize these invisible enemies and fight back. Because once you understand them, you gain the power to change everything. Your success doesn't start with luck. It starts with awareness, courage, and consistency. So take a deep breath. Let's uncover the real reasons that hold us back and how to break free. Fear. It's one of the most powerful emotions we experience, yet the least understood. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It hides deep inside our minds and waits for the moment we want to grow. When we dream big, fear steps in and asks, "What if you fail?" Or, "What will people think?" And just like that, we pause. We hesitate. We shrink. Think about a time you wanted to start something new: a project, a business, or even learning English. At first, you felt excitement, right? But then came the fear. It whispered doubts into your ear and made you question your worth. That tiny voice can be louder than any crowd. It convinces you that staying safe is better than trying. And slowly, your dreams begin to fade. But here's the truth: fear is not your enemy. It's a signal. It tells you that something matters, that what you're about to do could change your life. Fear shows up when you stand at the edge of growth. It's like a door separating who you are now from who you could become. Most people stand before that door for years, waiting for fear to disappear. But fear never leaves on its own. You have to walk through it. You don't need to be fearless. No one is. Even the strongest people feel fear. The difference is they act anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite it. Each time you take a small step forward, you weaken fear's power. Each time you face it, you grow stronger. Think of fear as a teacher, not a wall. It teaches you what you value most, what you care about deeply. If you didn't care, you wouldn't feel afraid. That means fear is actually pointing you toward what matters. So instead of running away, learn to listen. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? Is it protecting me, or is it limiting me? Fear often disguises itself as logic. It sounds reasonable, it's not the right time, or you're not ready yet. But that's the trick. Fear uses comfort to keep you still. It promises safety but steals opportunity. Every time you say, "I'll do it," later, fear wins a little more ground. And soon, the dream that once excited you becomes something you only talk about, not live. Here's something powerful to remember: you can feel fear and still move forward. In fact, that's how growth happens. Every great achievement started with someone who was scared, but acted anyway. They sent the email, stepped on the stage, took the risk, and learned along the way. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created it. If you're listening right now and thinking, "But I'm not ready," let me tell you, no one ever is. Readiness is built through doing. You gain confidence by action, not by waiting for fear to fade. The more you act, the smaller fear becomes. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the monster in your mind was just a shadow, big but powerless once you turned on the light. So here's your challenge: take one small action today. Do something that fear doesn't want you to do. Speak up, apply, begin. You don't need to conquer the world. Just open the door and step through. Because everything you want Freedom, confidence, success is waiting on the other side of fear. And the only way to get there is to move forward, one brave step at a time. The comfort zone. It sounds peaceful, doesn't it? A place where nothing hurts, where nothing surprises you. You know what to expect. Everything feels easy, safe, familiar. But here's the hidden truth. The comfort zone is not your friend. It's a quiet trap disguised as peace. When you stay in comfort too long, life becomes a loop. You wake up, do the same things, feel the same emotions, and wonder why nothing ever changes. You call it stability, but deep down, it's stagnation. Growth and comfort can't live in the same room. Think about it. Every great thing you've ever learned, speaking English, riding a bike, meeting new people, began outside your comfort zone. At first, it was awkward. You stumbled. You made mistakes. But that discomfort was proof you were growing. Without it, progress can't exist. The comfort zone feels safe because it protects you from failure, but it also protects you from success. It shields you from embarrassment, but it also blocks experience. It keeps you from risk, but it also hides reward. It's like living in a small room when an entire world waits outside. Most people don't even realize they're stuck there. They confuse comfort with happiness. They tell themselves, I'm fine, when what they really feel is bored. That quiet boredom is the sound of potential being wasted. You were not born to repeat yesterday. You were born to grow. Leaving your comfort zone doesn't mean doing something extreme. It means choosing challenge over ease, curiosity over certainty, purpose over pleasure. It's saying, I'll try, when your mind says, stay safe. It's having the courage to be uncomfortable, because discomfort is where transformation begins. Here's something powerful. The more you step out, the bigger your comfort zone becomes. What once scared you starts to feel normal. What once felt impossible starts to feel natural. That's how you evolve. That's how confidence is built. Not by avoiding discomfort, but by walking through it. So how can you start? Begin small. Speak to someone new. Take a different route home. Try something you've always postponed. Each small act is a rebellion against comfort. It's a message to your mind that says, I choose growth. And yes, it will feel strange at first. You might fail. You might feel nervous or out of place. But that's exactly how change feels. Messy, uncertain, alive. Every uncomfortable moment is proof that you're expanding. That's something to celebrate, not fear. Imagine this: a bird sitting in its nest, afraid to fly. The nest feels warm, but it's not where it belongs. Its wings were made for the sky, not the safety of branches. You are that bird, and your comfort zone is the nest that once protected you, but now keeps you from soaring. The world outside your comfort zone is full of opportunities. You'll find new skills, new people, new sides of yourself. You'll realize how much you've been missing by staying still. Because while comfort feels nice, it never changes your life. Growth does. So today, ask yourself, are you living or just existing? Are you repeating the same day or creating something new? If you feel too comfortable, take it as a warning sign. It means your dreams are falling asleep. Wake them up by doing something that scares you, something that reminds you you're still alive. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just take one brave step beyond the edge, because every time you step out, your world grows larger. And one day, you'll look back and realize that leaving comfort behind was the best decision you ever made. That's where real life begins, right outside your comfort zone. Procrastination, the silent thief of time and dreams. It sneaks into your day disguised as rest, whispering, you can do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. It just repeats itself. We all procrastinate. We tell ourselves, I'll start later, or now's not the right time. it feels harmless at first, but slowly, it builds a wall between you and your goals. One delay becomes a habit, one missed task becomes a pattern, and before you know it, months pass and nothing changes. Why do we procrastinate? Sometimes it's fear, fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. Sometimes it's perfectionism, waiting for the right moment to begin. And sometimes it's comfort, the need to stay safe and avoid pressure. But all of these are just excuses wearing different masks. Procrastination doesn't feel dangerous because it's quiet. It doesn't shout or push. It gently convinces you to wait. You scroll your phone, clean your desk, make another coffee. Anything but the one thing that matters most. It tricks you into feeling productive while keeping you stuck. Here's the truth. Waiting rarely makes things easier. It makes them harder. The more you delay, the heavier the task becomes in your mind. You start to feel guilt, frustration, even shame, and that emotional weight becomes another reason to delay again. It's a cycle, and the only way to break it is to act. Action doesn't need to be big. You don't need to finish everything today. You just need to start. One small move, one simple step. Write one sentence. Open the book. Make one call. Because once you start, momentum begins to build. And suddenly, what once felt impossible starts to flow. Think about this. Motivation doesn't come first. Action does. You create motivation through motion. When you take that first step, your brain releases energy and focus. That's why starting is always the hardest part, but it's also the most powerful. Perfectionism is another trap. You wait until everything feels right, until you feel ready. But ready is an illusion. No one ever feels completely ready to begin something meaningful. You become ready by starting, by learning, by adjusting along the way. Progress, not perfection, is the real goal. If you've been stuck in procrastination, forgive yourself. You're not lazy, you're human. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort, but you can rewire it through consistent, small actions. Every day you choose to act, you're training your mind to focus forward. Here's a trick that works: the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Send the message, wash the cup, write the title. That tiny habit builds discipline and breaks inertia. And before long, small wins add up to big results. Also, try asking yourself one simple question: what will this cost me if I don't do it? Because procrastination always has a price: lost time, missed chances, and dreams that fade quietly. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Remember, success belongs to those who show up, not once, not perfectly, but consistently. Even a small step, repeated daily, is more powerful than a burst of motivation that fades. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Use this one, because this moment is real. So here's my challenge for you. Choose one thing you've been delaying and start it today. Just 5 minutes. That's all. Once you begin, you'll feel the shift, because action creates clarity, and clarity creates momentum. And that's how you defeat procrastination. Not by thinking, not by waiting, but by doing. Lack of confidence? It's one of the quietest yet most powerful barriers to success. It doesn't shout, it whispers, it tells you you're not good enough before you even start. And over time, you start to believe it. Maybe you've felt it before. That tight feeling in your chest before speaking up. That hesitation before applying for a job or sharing your idea. You tell yourself, I'll wait until I feel more confident. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. You build confidence by doing, not by waiting. Think about a baby learning to walk. They don't wait until they're sure they can. They just try. They stumble, fall, get up, and try again. No speeches, no overthinking, just pure effort. And that's exactly how confidence grows. Step by step, failure by failure. As adults, we forget that. We expect to feel strong before we act. But real confidence works the other way around. You act first. Then belief follows. It's like lighting a fire. The spark is small, but if you keep feeding it, it becomes unstoppable. Here's the secret. You don't need full confidence to begin. You only need a little bit of courage, just enough to take the first step. That small moment of action can change everything. Because once you start, the fear begins to shrink. Your brain learns, I can do this. And that belief grows stronger each time you repeat it. Think about learning a new skill, maybe English, maybe public speaking. At first, it feels awkward. You make mistakes. You worry about being judged. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. You start focusing less on perfection and more on progress. That's when confidence quietly arrives. Lack of confidence often comes from old stories we tell ourselves. Maybe someone once said you weren't smart enough. Maybe you failed in the past, and it still haunts you. But those stories are not facts. They are memories, and memories can be rewritten. You're not the same person you were back then. You've learned, you've grown, and you deserve a new narrative. Here's a mindset shift that helps. Instead of asking, can I do this? Ask, how can I learn to do this? That single change transforms self-doubt into curiosity. It moves your brain from fear to problem solving. Because confidence doesn't come from knowing, it comes from growing. Another key is preparation. Confidence thrives in preparation. When you practice, when you plan, when you study, you're building a foundation that supports courage. You may still feel nervous, but you'll be ready. And that readiness is what allows confidence to show up when you need it most. Also, pay attention to your environment. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, not those who drain it. Confidence is contagious. When you see others taking risks and growing, you begin to believe you can too. Choose friends, mentors, and spaces that lift you up. And here's something important. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Every time you try, even if you fail, you win. Because the act of trying means you're growing. Each small victory adds up, quietly building your inner strength. Clap for yourself. Acknowledge your courage. Confidence blooms where self-respect grows. So if you're listening to this thinking, I wish I believed in myself more, remember, belief is built through effort. Take one brave action today, no matter how small. Speak the sentence, share the idea, take the chance. Even if your voice shakes, speak anyway. Confidence is not magic, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows with use. The more you act, the stronger it becomes. So don't wait until you feel ready. Act now and let your confidence catch up later. Because the truth is, you are already capable. You just need to prove it to yourself, one brave moment at a time. Poor decision making. It's something we all struggle with, even when we know better. Every day we make choices, big and small, that shape our future. What to say, what to do, when to start, and what to let go. Some choices build us. Others hold us back. And often, it's not bad luck that derails success. It's bad decisions. We make poor decisions for many reasons. Sometimes we rush because we're impatient. Sometimes we freeze because we're scared. And sometimes we choose what feels good now instead of what's good long term. We trade tomorrow's peace for today's comfort. It feels easy in the moment, but painful later. Think about it. You skip studying because you're tired, and later you regret it. You quit too soon because progress felt slow. You spend money to feel better for a moment and worry for weeks after. These small choices add up, silently shaping your direction. every decision either builds momentum or breaks it. The truth is, great decisions come from clarity, not emotion. When we act out of anger, fear, or frustration, we react. We don't think. That's why one simple pause can change everything. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what will this cost me in the future? Good decisions are rarely fast ones. They come from reflection, patience, and self awareness. We live in a world obsessed with speed, fast food, fast results, fast answers. But success is not a race, it's a direction. A wrong turn made quickly is still a detour. Slowing down doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're wise. Clarity is a form of strength. When you take time to think, you protect your future self from regret. Here's a simple method: the 3-question pause. Before you decide, ask 1. Is this helping my future or hurting it? 2. Am I acting out of emotion or wisdom? 3. Will I be proud of this decision a year from now? These few seconds of reflection can prevent years of frustration. But poor decisions don't only come from speed, they also come from indecision. Not choosing is still a choice. And often, it's the worst one. Opportunities fade, momentum dies. When you refuse to decide, life decides for you. And usually that choice isn't in your favor. So how can you make better decisions? Start small. Practice with everyday choices: what you eat, how you spend your time, who you listen to. Each small conscious decision trains your brain to think ahead. And the more you trust yourself, the clearer your path becomes. Learn from the past, but don't live there. We all make mistakes. That's part of growing. What matters is not perfection, but awareness. Look back only to understand, not to punish yourself. Every wrong choice teaches something right. That's how wisdom is built. Another thing, don't let other people make decisions for you. Advice is helpful, but ownership is powerful. It's your life, your path, your future. When you always follow the crowd, you lose your own direction. Listen, but choose for yourself. That's where true confidence begins. And remember, sometimes the best decisions are the hardest ones. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, ending what no longer serves you. Those choices hurt now, but heal later. The easy way feels nice, but the hard way makes you strong. Choose strength over comfort, purpose over pleasure. Every decision is a seed. Plant wisely, water patiently, and you'll harvest success in time. You don't need to change your whole life today. Just make one better choice than yesterday, because one decision can change everything, and the next one can change even more. Your future is waiting, and it's built one choice at a time. Discipline, it's not glamorous, but it's the quiet power behind every real success story. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Without it, dreams stay dreams, and goals stay written on paper. You begin strong, full of energy, then slowly drift away. Sound familiar? Think of all the things you've started but never finished. A workout plan, a new skill, a side project. You were excited at first. Everything felt fresh and possible. But then, the spark faded. Life got busy. You waited for motivation to come back, but it never did. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline isn't about perfection or punishment. It's about commitment. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work, not because you're in the mood, but because you know your future depends on it. Discipline says, I'll do it anyway. Here's the thing: motivation is emotion. It rises and falls like waves. But discipline is a decision. It's steady, reliable. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded when the tide of feelings changes. You don't need to be inspired every day. You just need to be consistent. The secret to discipline is small actions. You don't need to run a marathon. Just start with a single step, 5 minutes of study, 10 push ups, 1 page of reading. When you do these small things daily, they build into habits that shape your life. Habits are where discipline lives. Here's something powerful: discipline gives you freedom. It sounds strange, but it's true. When you're disciplined, you control your time, your focus, and your future. You don't chase deadlines or panic at the last minute. You move with clarity and confidence. That's real freedom, the kind that comes from consistency. Many people think discipline is hard or boring, but it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about returning to your path every time you fall off. You will miss days. You will feel tired. That's okay. The key is to come back again and again. Each return builds strength. Each effort matters. Let's take an example. Imagine learning a new language. You study for a few days, then stop because progress feels slow. But if you commit to just 10 minutes a day, you'll be amazed at how far you go in a few months. Consistency beats intensity every time. Discipline also means saying no. No to distractions. No to excuses. Every no you say to what doesn't serve you is a yes to what truly matters. It's choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. That's not sacrifice. That's self-respect. To build discipline, create routines. When something becomes part of your daily rhythm, it takes less effort to do. You don't think, you just act. That's how professionals operate, through systems, not moods. Discipline turns effort into habit and habit into excellence. Here's a mindset shift. Don't wait to feel ready. Action creates readiness. Start where you are, with what you have, and do what you can. Each small win fuels your confidence, and confidence in turn strengthens discipline. It's a loop of progress that grows with time. So if you've been struggling to stay consistent, remember, discipline is not a talent. It's a choice. It's something you build, not something you're born with. And the best time to start is always now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Show up for yourself today. Even if it's just a little. Write that sentence. Practice that skill. Do it not because it's easy, but because it matters. Because every act of discipline brings you closer to the life you want. And one day, you'll look back and realize that discipline wasn't the hard part. It was the key all along. You are stronger than your excuses. We all have them. Those little reasons that whisper why today isn't the right time. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I'm not ready. They sound logical. They sound true. But deep down, they're lies we tell ourselves to stay safe. Excuses protect comfort, not progress. They keep you from failure, but also from success. They promise safety, but deliver regret. Each time you believe them, you give away your power. And slowly, your dreams begin to fade into maybe one day. Here's the thing. Every successful person you admire had excuses too. They were scared. They were uncertain. They faced challenges just like you. The difference? They didn't let excuses win. They took action even when it felt uncomfortable. That's the real secret of progress. Action before confidence. Excuses often sound like reasons. They wear clever disguises: work, family, time, money. But if you listen closely, most of them are just fear in another form. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. The only way to silence that fear is to move anyway. You don't need to take giant steps. Start with one small action. Send that email. Sign up for the class. Speak the sentence you've been afraid to say. When you act despite your excuses, you prove to yourself that you can. And that proof becomes power. Think of it this way. Excuses are heavy. They weigh on your mind and steal your energy. The longer you carry them, the harder everything feels. But when you drop them, even for a moment, you feel lighter, stronger, more capable. Because action is freedom. You might say, but I've tried before and failed. Good. That means you're human. Failure isn't proof you can't. It's proof you tried. And every time you try again, you get closer to success. Excuses stop you where failure teaches you. So fail forward, proudly. There's a powerful shift that happens when you take ownership. When you stop blaming time, luck, or circumstance and say, "This is my responsibility." That's when change begins. You move from victim to creator, from waiting to doing, from excuses to empowerment. Ask yourself this: what if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment? What if you stopped giving power to the buts? Because life will never be perfectly calm. There will always be noise, distraction, and uncertainty. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people act anyway. Here's the truth: your excuses will never disappear. They will whisper every time you try to grow. But you get to choose which voice to follow: the voice of fear or the voice of possibility. One keeps you still, the other sets you free. So, how do you break free? Start small. Start now. You don't need to erase all excuses, just ignore one today. Every time you act despite them, you build momentum. Momentum turns into belief. Belief turns into success. It's a chain reaction powered by courage. You are stronger than your fear, smarter than your doubts, and more capable than your excuses will ever let you believe. The moment you decide to stop waiting, you reclaim your power. And that single decision can change everything. So today, make a promise to yourself. No more waiting, no more later. Take one step toward your goal, even if it's tiny. Because small steps taken with courage beat big dreams, delayed by excuses. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing. You just need to begin. Remember, excuses sound comforting now, but they always hurt later. Courage might feel uncomfortable now, but it always rewards you later. So choose courage, choose action, choose yourself, because you are stronger, always have been, always will be. So here we are, at the end of our journey together. We face the real enemies of success: fear, comfort, procrastination, doubt, poor choices, and lack of discipline. But now you know the truth. None of them are stronger than you. Success doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being persistent. It's built on small actions, quiet effort, and daily courage. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you win. Every time you act despite fear, you build strength. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Your journey doesn't need to be fast or flawless. It just needs to be yours. Take one step today, no matter how small. Because progress, not perfection, is the true path to success. And remember, you already have everything you need within you. Stay brave, stay focused, keep going. Your story is just beginning.